Redbeard Podcast is brought to you by these cool dudes.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's Tony from the Redbeard Podcast. It's Friday, and I got my buddy with me. What's up, dude?
What up? It's Cooley.
Yeah, so we're doing this via Skype. Yeah, man, we got some cool stuff this week, man, that we're gonna jump into. Obviously, let's just get right into it, dude. We went to New York Comic Con last week, and it was friggin' awesome, dude. You've been before, so what'd you think about it this year?
It was great, man. It was your first one, though, right?
Yeah, I'd never been, but I thoroughly enjoyed it.
Thoroughly?
Thoroughly.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's a great word.
It is. There were.
I like saying that. Thoroughly.
Thoroughly. I sound very smart. No, I had never been. I didn't know what to expect. The only Comic Cons that I've been to are things like Rhode Island Comic Con and Walker Stalker in Boston for my third time. So that's kind of what I was expecting, but on a larger scale. And it definitely, succeeded in actually showing me what a real Comic-Con is, as opposed to the smaller ones that are kind of still in their developmental phases right now.
Yeah, and that's not to take anything away from what Rhode Island Comic Con is doing or what the smaller cons accomplish. But I mean, you just can't have anything the magnitude of New York Comic Con in, I guess, any of the buildings we have in Rhode Island. I mean, it's just that place. The Javits Center is huge. Yeah, no,
and that's the thing too. I mean, I walked in and I realized how big this place was in comparison to what we have in Rhode Island, and it's massive, and they can hold all that media in that place and everything, and the amount of people that they had. I mean, one of the things that really blew me away was that, and we walked in and went to Will Call to pick up my ticket because it didn't get mailed to me. It still hasn't come in the mail, so I don't even know what happened to it. But anyway, I did walk in, get my ticket right away, and it kind of seemed too good to be true that there was nobody at Will Call and we could just walk in. Turns out that we had to wait in a line that wrapped around the building. So we literally walked around the entire Javits Center and then had to basically just go backwards to get into the actual place. And the line itself, I was like, holy shit, this is a ton of people. I've seen lines before, for Rhode Island Comic Con, and that was small compared to this line. So I thought we were going to be in line for 2 hours. I was like, by the time we get in here, we're going to have to leave. But that wasn't the case. Once, the doors opened at 10 and we got there earlier, which is why that line was building up, it actually went pretty smoothly. And we got to meet some interesting people in line as well, which you guys will get to see footage of that at some point.
Yeah, later on tonight.
Yeah, that's right. So we're going to be posting a video of our New York Comic Con footage later tonight, guys. So make sure that you go on redbeardpodcast.com, check it out. It's a lot of fun, and we had some fun filming it. So we hope you guys enjoy it. So
yeah, man.
So let's talk about some stuff, man. What was your favorite part about New York Comic Con? Because you've been to this before. So what stood out to you this year?
Yo, my favorite part every time I go to New York Comic Con is always the people that put the time and effort into cosplay and, representing the characters that they love and that they grew up on. I mean, my favorite one this year, hands down, was the Luke Cage that we saw.
Oh, yeah, he was awesome.
That dude was it was like he stepped right out of the comic book.
Mm. Yeah, and Luke Cage was pretty cool, but it was cool because he had his family with him and they were dressed up too.
Yeah, his wife, girlfriend, whatever it was, she was dressed up as Jewel, who is the superhero identity of Jessica Jones.
Okay.
And that was pretty cool because obviously Luke Cage and Jessica Jones are a thing. And I was, their kid was dressed up as Iron Man, which was cool, right? But it's like Jessica Jones and Luke Cage have a baby girl, and it's like, it was just a perfect opportunity to just have Luke Cage, Jessica Jones, and their baby girl. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It was great. It was a perfect opportunity for that. And it was like, I guess she wanted to be Iron Man, and fantastic. More power to you. And it was fun because it was like a giant paper mache helmet.
Right.
And she had the little arc reactor on her chest, and it was cute. But still, I just thought it was a great opportunity to have that, because there was a couple outside in the line that had they were cosplaying the Saga family that I told you about, and that was awesome. It was the whole family. They had the kid, and it was awesome. And the baby
they had
like
the
horns on her head.
The horns, like the baby horns. That was cool.
Yeah, it was awesome. And it was like the same kind of thing that I thought I was gonna, not that I thought I was gonna see, but that was the opportunity that they had with that Luke Cage family. That was just the only criticism that I have. Not like he was a professional seeking judgment, but if he was, that would be my one criticism.
Yeah, I will say that I think my favorite part about Comic-Cons in general, and especially I noticed that it was, still happening at New York Comic-Con, and I'm sure it's the same way in San Diego, which we're going to get to probably in the next year or two. But Comic-Con is the ultimate environment for people who just have an obsession with anything comic books, like this, another world, like movies, like they're just, everybody's a nerd in their own way. And I love that. And I feel like these people are so passionate about the characters that they love that it's always, as much as they don't want recognition for the costumes they're wearing, you realize how happy it makes somebody when you're like, hey man, you mind if I get a picture with you? That's awesome. Like they're like, oh, this is so cool. Like it paid off. Like this guy likes my costume, and I feel like everybody just loves the fact that everybody's okay to take pictures with each other. Everybody's super nice. You can start a conversation with anybody at Comic-Con and find some kind of a common interest. And, people are so apt to just jump in. Like if you want to do an interview, be like, hey man, you mind if we we got a podcast. We want to talk to you. Is that cool if we ask you a couple questions? It's like, oh yeah, cool, man. No worries. Like everybody is nice to each other. Everybody has a great time. Everybody is there to kind of just share in this, comic convention and everybody has an awesome time. And it's just a fun environment to be in. But the one thing about this year that I kind of was surprised about is, just the sheer amount of people that that were there. I mean, it was insane. The amount of people packed into this place was crazy. And there's so much going on at once that it's hard for you to kind of figure out exactly what you want to do. And I think the only negative thing that I would say, which I experienced, was we went to check out the Assassin's Creed panel, and the Assassin's Creed panel was sounded cool, kind of in the description, but it didn't turn out to be anything that I really wanted to listen to or cared about. It was them just talking about these books that they wanted out about, kind of like the Assassin's Creed, like younger kids, like young adults that are like assassins in these like Assassin's Creed books. They touched upon the movie, I think for a minute. But the negative thing to this whole point, or the negative side effect to this, I guess, was that we were inside the convention center, but we weren't in a private hall where it was just an Assassin's Creed panel. They had these different panels that were all around 15 minutes, and they had the people that were on stage were mic'd up, so their voices were coming through a speaker. But the comic convention has so much stuff going on that there's so much background noise that it was hard for you to hear what the people on stage were actually saying. And I feel like that's something that could be adjusted. Like if you're going to have a panel, especially on a live stage like that where they're rotating different guests every 15 minutes, it should be in an area where it's a little bit more quiet so people can get more out of the panels and actually understand what they're saying. So that was the downside.
True. Also, like that particular panel, I had no clue who the people were on stage either. Like there was and I guess that's all well and good, but you have a panel and it's about Assassin's Creed. It's like another missed opportunity to give us something that it's just like that would be fun to watch and see. But that's
one of
the
guys on the stage was like one of the original creators of Assassin's Creed, but he wasn't as vocal as I would have hoped he would have been. He just kind of said a couple words, and then they started talking about their books that no one cares about.
Is there anybody here that's an Assassin's Creed fan?
Oh my God. Yeah, that one dude. So there was you could talk about that, man, because you found it more funny than I did. You was like dying about this guy. Go for it.
No, this dude, he jumped up out of his seat and just, why do I have to say it? You were just about to say it.
It was just funny because I laughed because you were laughing so hard. Like, this guy obviously, like, I don't know if he had something wrong with him, like if it was a mental disorder, but I kind of thought that he might have had the more I watched him. But at first, he's some dude that was just like wicked excited about Assassin's Creed, but it was delayed. Like, everybody was like, "Hey, who's a big Assassin's Creed fan? Who loves the franchise?" And everybody was like, "Yeah, like woo!" And this guy, like, it was silent for 3 seconds because that's when people were done cheering, and he just stood up and was like, "Woo!" And we were like, and then he sat back down, and people were like, "Whoa, that guy took way too long to like applaud." Then he sits down. And we noticed that, like, after 5 minutes of the panel starting, he's, like, falling asleep. So it's like, how could you be that excited about something, but then just not excited at all? So,
to be fair, I mean, that's kind of the same reaction we had, except for we didn't fall asleep.
No.
We were kind of, like, excited about it, and then we saw what it was, and we were like, oh, screw this.
Yeah, I even said, I was like, I'm good to walk away if you want. Like, I'm done. And it was good. I just left because it was just boring. It had nothing. I wanted to know more about where the game's going because there isn't an Assassin's Creed game coming out this year, and there's been one every year. So the last one was Syndicate, and it was great, but they put a lot of their power and their focus into the movie, which is going to be coming out very soon. So I'm hoping the movie does well. As most of you know, I'm a big fan of the franchise, so I'm looking forward to it. I think Michael Fassbender is going to kill it. As he does in usually every movie. He's a really talented guy. But I didn't get to hear anything really about that at this panel, and that was kind of a bummer. So that was the only downside, I think, for me. We didn't get in early enough to actually go to a panel called Inside the Upside Down, which was based on Stranger Things, which kind of bummed about. But, the line took us like an hour to get in, so we were halfway through the line when that panel had started, so...
Yeah, but I think even if we got in, I think that panel would have just been full.
Yeah, I mean, there were like 250,000 people or something ridiculous like that are 20. It was like some crazy number that people had already like scheduled for it, and so we probably wouldn't have been able to get in. But that would have been cool. I don't know. I was just there was so much shit to take in one day. I mean, we definitely would need to go back for a couple days to do it all. But I think for the time that we went, we did cover a lot of ground.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun, man. Like a lot of the things that we saw, the way things, the presentation is on point. Reed Pop does a great job of putting on a convention and making sure that all the signage and the booths are all like, everything is on point. And the people that they bring in, I mean, like you've got representation from Marvel, DC, Image, Dark Horse, like all of your major companies in the comic book industry, plus all the television stations. You had the CW there. You had, good representation from Fox. It was AMC was there. It was awesome. It's just a sight to behold to walk onto that convention floor and just see all of the stuff that's there. And like, you just it's overwhelming.
It is. I mean, even the artists, showcase, which is where, all the artists are, which I think was self-explanatory. I don't know why I had to explain that, but, yeah, I mean, all these guys, are sitting there doing sketches. They're talking to their fans about, people that read the comics, and it really is. Although there was a lot of people, what I like about the artists too, and a lot of these, celebrities, is that most of them take the time to actually make it like an intimate experience. Like I went up and I talked to this one guy. He was the artist for Hero Cats, which is a comic that I picked up. And he was like so cool to just talk to me about it and like where the story came from and why he got into it. And it was just, I don't know, it's just interesting to kind of be able to have that conversation where in the other Comic-Cons that I've been to, they kind of have a different system where it's like, say hi, shake your hand, like 2 seconds, we got to move on. And I'm hoping that this year at RI Comic-Con, it's going to be a little bit different because, it's good to meet somebody, but it's good to have like a minute or two to talk to them. And we got a lot of that at New York Comic Con. So it was a different experience in a positive way, and I'm hoping that carries over to, RI, because that'll be a lot of fun.
Yeah, man. The same dude that you're talking about, he actually showed me where to find Vito Del Sante, the creator and writer of Stray.
Yeah.
And he literally took, how long did that take? About a good 10, 15 minutes?
It was like a good 10 minutes. Like, he was walking around. Like, I thought at some point he was just going to be like, I don't know, like maybe he's on a break. But like, he literally was like, you even said to him, you're like, it's all right, man. Like, I can look for him. And he was like, no, like, follow me. And we were literally.
He was like, no, we're going to find him.
Yeah, we were like walking up and down the aisles looking for this guy. I mean, he was like dedicated to make that connection. Yeah, man. The artists in Artist Alley and the writers and creators that attend Comic-Con as professionals. I haven't really had a bad experience with any of them. They're always super pleasant, and they're there for a reason. They're there to connect with the fans, and they do a hell of a job of making sure that you're like, introduced to their material. Right. Yeah, and dude, I like I said, I mean, can't say enough great stuff about it, but make sure you guys check out the video that we're going to post on the website, redbeardpodcast.com, so you can kind of see the stuff that we're talking about and kind of get an idea of what our experiences were like and the people we talked to. So that'll be out tonight. With that being said, man, some other big news in kind of the entertainment world. The Rogue One trailer came out, or the last official trailer. The longer trailer, I feel. What did you think about that? You seem pretty excited about it.
Dude, I thought it was awesome. There's a whole lot of new footage. There's a lot of new footage. There's some revelations, I guess you would call them, where you find out that her father is actually the designer of the Death Star, I guess you would say, or one of the key people behind creating the Death Star. And so like the mission just became, more personal. Right. So, I mean, there's a bunch of stuff that, showed up in that trailer, and just the tone of the movie alone is very, very different from what you would expect from the Star Wars series. It seems a lot less of a straight adventure and more of a gritty, like, Magnificent Seven style, mission based movie.
Yeah, I agree with you on that. Because I didn't know. I mean, I don't think any of us know what's going to happen in this movie because, like you said, excuse me, like you said, it's a new story that no one knows much about. So I think it's kind of a cool experience that most of us are going into this blind and seeing it all for the first time. And watching this trailer, there are a lot of things that like I felt like I wasn't getting or I wasn't really understanding because, I'm a Star Wars fan, but I'm not like an uber fan like a lot of people that know the ins and outs of everything and like, the Easter eggs and stuff. Like I watch Star Wars, but I'm not an uber fan. So I was like, this trailer is really cool, but I feel like I'm missing some things. And, you and I kind of talked about it briefly, and you said, like, you were kind of on the same page as me because it is just a new story. No one really knows what's going to happen. I mean, I saw some really cool characters. Forrest Whitaker's in it, which I really like him. And it looks like he's got, like, robot legs now. So I'm interested to see, like, the story behind that. I don't know. It's just it's what happened before Star Wars. So this is going to be a really cool movie, I think, for all of us to go in and see this for the first time as like a first time audience.
Yeah, man. And I mean, Gareth Edwards, the director, it looks like he really put his stamp on the Star Wars universe. It looks like he's not trying to do anything that's mimicking what came before. It's really it seems really gritty. And, just like the cast alone, I mean, Felicity Jones, Mad Mikkelsen, Ben Mendelsohn, your boy Alan Tudyk is going to be in it.
Yeah, he is.
Warwick Davis, Forrest Whitaker, James Earl Jones as the voice of Vader again, Donnie Yen, I mean, it's Jimmy Smits is in it again. This is just, it's going to be fantastic, man.
Yeah, I mean,
It's going to be a lot of fun.
I think that's a big part of it too. I mean, they're not really like holding back any punches. They're bringing out like some big names. They're bringing out some good actors that want to make this film succeed, and I respect that because, you know, I feel like with Star Wars, it has such a that title in itself, like, you know, Rogue One. It's part of the Star Wars story and saga. It has such a powerful punch behind the name Star Wars that they really have to make this something special. And I feel like they don't do that with some movies that, you know, I've had bad experiences with or didn't enjoy it as much as I would have hoped. Like, you know, like when Alien vs. Predator came out, you know, like me and my cousin were psyched about that movie. We were like waiting months for it, years for it. And then it came out and it had these no-name actors in it, you know, that like nobody had known before. They were okay, but they weren't like great actors. So it kind of caused the movie to just go down the shitter, you know, and it sucks when stuff like that happens. So to see a movie that has such a powerful cast and know that it's going to kick ass before it even comes out is pretty awesome.
Yeah, man. What did you think of? I know you just finished. What was it? What are you on? Episode 5 now?
No, man. I'm just bumping up into episode 8.
Episode 8. Wow, you're cranking them out.
Yeah, I watched about another 3 of them today. So I'm watching Luke Cage, by the way. It's awesome, man, and I really do like it. And I think I'm really having a good experience watching it because I'm getting in. I'm understanding references. Like I've already seen Jessica Jones. I've already watched the 2 seasons of Daredevil recently, which was fantastic. I finished that last week. It was excellent. I really love the ending of it where, you know, she finds out that he's Daredevil. You know, Paige finds out, or her last name is Paige. Karen Page. Karen finds out that he's Daredevil. I feel like that was just like a connection I was waiting to happen because I feel like that's you know, a way for their company to stay together and be on the same page. But having watched those 2 seasons of Daredevil and Jessica Jones going into Luke Cage, it really is a great way to do it because it makes sense. And Rosario Dawson is in this, and you know, she already makes references to Jessica Jones. She makes references to Daredevil and Hell's Kitchen. And, you know, I'm understanding all these things. So it's fun to kind of hear those things and know what was happening around the same time. But I think, you know, Michael Cotler, who plays Luke Cage, is phenomenal. He really just has like this presence about him. You know, I mean, not to mention the guy's in really good shape. He looks like somebody that, you know, who could kick your ass even if he didn't have superpowers, you know, but he does. And I don't know, man. Like I don't want to speak too soon because, like I said, I haven't finished it. But everything that I've seen so far, I've loved.
Yeah, Mahershala Ali, the dude that plays Cottonmouth.
Yeah,
phenomenal, man.
He is, man. He what I really like about him, and I think this is a choice that he's made, like a character choice, is that whenever he gets put in a corner or gets insulted, instead of actually like being quiet, he flips it around on somebody and does that laugh. You know,
yeah, the laugh is awesome.
Yeah, you know, like that laugh is like a consistent thing with him, you know, and like he'll do it after he kills somebody just to kind of like relieve the tension. He'll do it when you know, somebody makes fun of him. Like I think he said like Luke Cage came outside Pop's like memorial service, and he's standing in his car and he says to him, he goes, if another suit gets ruined, he goes, I'm gonna tax you. And then all of a sudden, like Cottonmouth just kind of like looks at him, and as he walks away, he laughs at him, and it's like I'm like, oh, like what a G, like just like because you're letting him know that like you think it's funny, like he's not really threatening to you, and
right.
It's just a really cool choice as an actor, as a character, and I love it, and I think I just got to the episode where he, you know, hey, spoiler alert if you guys haven't watched it, but I think he checked out. So you know what I mean? So I didn't see that coming. I didn't think it was going to happen, but from what I've seen so far, I think he's done. But
I was so mad when that happened, man.
Yeah, dude, I didn't see it coming. I thought he was going to get the shit kicked out of him, or she was going to go down, and it wasn't, but he kind of went out like in a stupid way. I thought it could have been a little bit more. Well, I don't know. I thought it could have been a little bit better. I thought it was kind of a weak way for him to go out, but whatever. So who knows? I don't know. Like I said, I don't know. Who knows if he's actually dead? But I feel like from what I saw, it looked like he was.
And Simone Cook, the actress behind Misty Knight, she's great, man.
She's hot too.
But and Misty Knight is like definitely like one of my favorite characters in the show. Like they nailed the character.
Yeah. You would obviously you would know that because you read the comics, but I thought she was great since the first time we saw her at the bar.
Mm-hmm.
You know, she has a really. I think she is basically his. Like he kind of found his equal as far as like somebody who's good with like quips and comebacks. Yeah. You know, like I thought that was kind of a cool conversation. Like everything was innuendos, so it was good.
Like my favorite scene with her was the on the basketball court.
Oh yeah, where her name was in the cement. Like that was awesome. Yeah, she's like, this used to be my court too. I was like, what a baller.
Yeah, they thought they were gonna take her out like she was some kind of chump.
Yeah,
and she like just pointed at the MK and she's like, yeah, that's me.
Yeah. No, she was good, man. And oh god, yeah, the whole show, like I said, is just so good so far. I love the guy who played Pop too. What's that?
What do you think of Frank Whaley in that show, the detective, that her partner?
God, I can't stand that guy. I don't, not his character. I mean, like his character is a piece of shit, but I don't like that actor. Like he annoys the fuck out of me. So like he was in he was in a season of last season, season 3 of Ray Donovan, and he played like the same kind of thing, like a cop. And he was trying to like basically bring him down, and he got his ass taken out. And I can't stand him because he's just like this little sniveling rat, you know, that just is annoying. and his voice is annoying and everything about him annoying. Like I was over your house, what was it, when we recorded last podcast, and I saw him on the TV because you were watching Luke Cage, and I was like, as soon as I saw him and I was like, what is this, Luke Cage? And you're like, yeah. I was like, fuck. Like, I got to deal with this fucking guy again. Like, I just didn't want to see him. You know, like, he just annoys the shit out of me, man. So, but, hey, I mean, the outcome of his situation pleased me. So, you know, I was like, thank God I don't have to listen to this fucking dude anymore. So, but, no, I mean, wasn't he in, like, Kids in the Hall or something? Like, or some shit?
No, that's, he was in that movie with,
shit. No, but he was in some show, man. It was Kids in the Hall, wasn't it?
I don't think so.
I'm looking it up right now. No, because that guy has been in a ton of shit. But there's something about he's been in. Oh man, I don't know. We'll go back to it. Yeah, you just, I don't know. I don't know. There's something about him. He's been in something before because I remember when I saw him in Ray Donovan, I was like, "Where's this guy?"
Swimming with Sharks is the one that he's most known for. That's
not what I'm thinking of. Hold on, I'm looking it up right now. Luke Cage. It's going to be very easy for me to tell you what he is. Yeah, Frank Whaley. He was in. If I go back, let's go way back. This is like in the beginning of his career. Let's see. No, keep talking, man. Just go. I don't want I'm gonna figure it out.
So for me, it's Swimming with Sharks, the movie with Kevin Spacey, where he's got Kevin Spacey tied up.
Okay. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
I mean, I remember him from that, but that's not what I was thinking of. Holy shit, he's been in a lot of stuff, man. Like Little Monsters, Field of Dreams. Been in a lot. Oh, that's where I think I know him from, dude.
What's that?
He was in Career Opportunities with Jennifer Connelly. Remember they got trapped in like a department store and she was like ultra hot in that movie?
Yep.
Yeah, he was the dude in that. He was also in The Doors with Val Kilmer. You know, he played The Doors. Let's see. Swing Kids, I remember him from that. Pulp Fiction. No, it's not the same dude that I'm thinking of, but he still annoys me. And that's all I gotta say about that. Yeah, he still annoys me. But whatever. And he got old, man. Like he got old. Like I feel like a jerk saying that, but he got old. Anyway, well, whatever. So I'm enjoying Luke Cage, man. It's kicking ass. I'm gonna probably finish it today or tomorrow.
Nice. Yeah, let me know as soon as you do so we can talk about it.
Yeah, man.
Virtual reality is now a thing in video gaming.
Yeah, you were amped to talk about this. I know you were because you tweeted about it.
Yeah, it's annoying to me, man. It's like, look, it's bad enough that like we're buried in our phones on a daily basis. You know, like we're just always looking at our phones, texting, tweeting, Instagramming, Facebooking, Googling, you know,
podcasting,
following GPS. What the phone is like everything, right? And now all of a sudden, we've got VR, and VR not just for PlayStation 4, which is now the new big thing that came out yesterday, but just VR in general. You have these VR goggles that you can get for your phone that you have in your hand. Like you don't really, like I just don't understand the need for it. Sure, some of it's probably cool, but I just can envision this very near future where, you know, everybody's got a set of VR goggles on their head and we're just walking around bumping into each other and, you know, just like forget the real world because that's going to be the reality. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it's just, to me, it's just, I don't know. Am I just old? Like what is the deal? Like, I don't get it.
Well, I feel like virtual reality was a thing back in the day. It's kind of like this taboo thing. It was like, oh, virtual reality. You know, like everybody always talks about it. It's been in a lot of movies, like something that we were going to be able to have at our disposal in the future. And I think that it's kind of something that's been left behind. It's like there were very small scale projects where virtual reality was a thing, you know, kind of like, you know, I think it kind of starts off with stuff like the Power Glove. You know, you put your hand in the Power Glove and you can kind of control the screen, and that's like a form of that. But then they wanted to take it to the next level, and then you could stand in between like something that would actually detect where you were and mimic your movements on the screen. And then, you know, came, you know, putting on this huge headset that like no one would be able to ever afford to own. And that was virtual reality. And I feel like over the past decade, it's kind of just this thing that we've forgotten about. And a lot of companies like Samsung and even drone companies are trying to put virtual reality back on the table, you know, to kind of have the edge over a lot of other companies. Like if you own a drone now, you can actually put on like almost like a virtual reality glasses where you have a first person view when you're flying the drone, which is kind of cool. But virtual reality, I think it's kind of cool, man. I mean, but do I feel the need to actually have it or take advantage of it? Not really. Like I don't need that unless it really is going to like blow my mind. Then, you know, I guess I don't know. I don't really need it. But one of the things, and I don't know if you know about this, but Vivid Entertainment, which is, you know, a porn company, also Naughty America, they actually have their own virtual reality. And it's just, think about it. I mean, it's VR porn. That's basically what it was. From what I've been reading about, you put these glasses on and you put your phone or whatever, the app, I guess, and you basically sit down, you're in a room, and you can kind of look around like 180 degrees, and, you know, you see kind of like a 3D rendering of what your body is supposed to be, and then, you know, use your imagination. They have like this person come in and you're basically having like VR sex, which I don't know. I mean, from what I've heard and what the videos I've watched on YouTube to try to figure out what the hell this was, there was a porn star that like she put the glasses on and they have like a live recording of her like watching this. And she freaked out, and I laughed because she goes, "Oh my God!" She goes, "I didn't expect it to come flying at my face that fast." I was like, "So what the fuck did she actually see?" You know, and I'm like, and I'm wondering like what they like. That's cool, I guess, but like, it's not like you're actually doing anything. Like, Like, are you feeling anything? No, it's just like a virtual reality of some girl like coming over and doing whatever. But like, I just don't get that. You know, I don't get that. Like, is it gonna come to the point where like you need a machine to do something else, which has been calibrated correctly with what you're watching? Like, it's kind of disturbing. You know what I mean? That we actually need to come to that level where we don't have human contact anymore.
You get the machine and whatnot, and it's like, you know when the audio gets out of sync with the video.
Yeah.
It can get like that feeling would just be. Imagine how weird that would be. Like you're like watching this shit in VR and like it's out of sync.
Doesn't make any sense.
Oh, I gotta pause it for a minute.
Yeah, hold on. I need to recalibrate my glasses with my fucking jerk off machine. like what the fuck? I don't know, man. It's like, dude, they have some disturbing shit. Like, I love to look this shit up because I think it's funny. Like, I really want to see like how twisted people can get. Like, that's entertaining for me. So like, I literally Google all this shit. I remember years ago when they came out with the fleshlight. It's like a flashlight, but it's basically like a fucking. It's like, if you ever found this in someone's closet, it doesn't look anything like a flashlight. It's clearly not a flashlight, right? So, but it's basically like a friggin', you know, I don't know what the hell you call it, like a rubber fucking pussy in a fucking flashlight casing that like you fuck. And like I went on their website and I'm like, what the fuck? And I'm looking at all this stuff and they have like some that look like asses, some that looks like mouths, some that there's one it's like supposed to be an alien pussy. Like it's like blue. Like who's using this shit? You know, like I don't know. I think it's funny, but they have this other thing where I guess you can, it's like I don't know how to explain it, but I didn't know what it was when I first saw it and I had to like read it. It was like you basically can attach your like fleshlight to your case that you put on an iPad so you can watch the iPad, but you don't have to, but you know, like, I guess if we're going to get graphic for a second, I guess if you're watching porn, like you're holding your iPad or your phone with one hand and doing the deed with the other, right? But it's like, this allows you to actually hold your iPad, but the fleshlight attaches to the back of the iPad. So you can hold the iPad with two hands and go at it. But it's everything at once. It's like kind of crazy, but I mean, it's like, but I can't.
Engineering at its finest.
But and I can't, I want to know who is like, oh yeah, that's what I need. Getting my credit card right now. You know, like I think you've reached a low at some point if you need to buy like that case that like, it's like, dude, you're taking it to the next level. But I don't know. I mean, I feel like human nature, like that is eventually where people would go with it. You know, like, oh, virtual reality, I can do this. Well, what else can I do with it? I feel like, of course, that's where people are going to go with it.
Yeah.
I mean, you don't think it's like you're not a fan of virtual reality? Like you against it?
It's not like I'm against it. I just feel like it has its uses, but to have it in like the home, like you have your like picture of family, right? And they have a kid, and the kid is like already like on his phone all the time, or playing video games all the time, or watching TV, and you know, parents and siblings and whatnot, everybody's like vying for each other's attention but can't get it. And now you're just gonna box yourself into a little friggin' like box on your face to watch this stuff. So now you're even further removed from your family. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I can see that.
Like you have less reason for human interaction is what I'm saying. And human interaction is something that I truly believe in. I feel like you need to be able to, you know, separate yourself from the technology and interact with your peers and your family in order to maintain some sort of social ability.
No, I agree with you. I mean, when I was worked in the restaurant business for a while, man, it used to frustrate me when I would like be waiting on the table and, you know, the two kids are literally like on their phones with their headphones in and the parents are having a conversation. Like when I was growing up, when it was dinner time, like there were, you know, we didn't have, I mean, there were cell phones for a short amount of time when they first started to come out, but you know, if the phone rang, let it go to voicemail. Don't pick it up. You know, like we're having dinner right now. You know, like what did you do today? Tell me about your day. You know, like how was school? Like you talked about stuff. And now I feel like the parents just don't want to deal with it. They are just so strung out by everyday things they have to do and stress that they just want like quiet time. So they give the kid the phone and the headphones to shut them out just so they can take a minute for themselves. And as true as it may be that you need time to yourself, you're also disconnecting yourself from your family.
Right.
But I feel like as a parent and as an authority figure, you need to set ground rules in your home. Be like, when I was a kid, it was like you have this much time to play video games, and then you shut it off for the night. You can't do anything and you can't use your phone. You can't make any phone calls or watch TV until you finish your homework. So it's like, and I feel like we're getting away from that, where if there's going to be virtual reality and that's going to be a thing, which it's obviously going to be, there needs to be a time and a place for it. Like if you have playtime and you're going to play a video game, hey, I mean, cool. You want to play virtual reality with that time, then do it. But you can't just be like, at the dinner table, friggin', on your own little box while you're eating your macaroni and cheese. It doesn't work that way. So I agree with you on that standpoint. I just feel like there needs to be ground rules set and a time and a place for it.
Yeah, and that's kind of where I'm at. I mean, then you also have, adults, that are gamers as well, that are going to be drawn into this. And it's just, I don't know. It's just this really weird feeling that we're going to end up, everybody's going to end up with some kind of goggles on their face, walking around, waving their hands through the air like they're actually touching something. It's just going to be really weird,
Yeah, I mean, it will be, especially if the father's like using his virtual reality to do whatever he's doing while his kid's like playing in the middle of the street, like not being paid attention to.
Yeah. And it's like it's gonna take getting used to. It's gonna be like the Bluetooth craze, and you had the little Bluetooth headsets and everybody's like talking to themselves. I'm like, oh, look at this weirdo, he's talking to himself. Nah, I'm on the phone, right? Yeah. Like it's gonna be this. Oh, look at this guy waving his hands around with the stupid box on his face, and eventually it'll catch up and like everybody's gonna be doing it. But I just don't see a fantastic outcome for humanity when that happens.
Yeah, I mean it is kind of, I think there is a downside to it, that we're totally engrossed by our technology, that we don't actually make a phone call anymore. Like it is so awkward for people to make a phone call now instead of like, have you ever been talking to somebody and they're like, oh, like, hey, can you call them to see if you can get that information or see what they're doing later? Yeah, let me shoot them a text. Like, dude, just call them. It's going to take you less time to be like, yo, man, what's going on later, than texting out everything you want to say. But people are like nervous to have a conversation. Like they're nervous to make a phone call and like for the other person to hear your voice. It's like, what's the big deal? And I feel like people get a little bit brave behind their text messages. They, they'll say things they wouldn't normally say in person because they feel like it's different in text.
Right.
Like, and I feel like you're not going to get a normal reaction from somebody because they can read it over and over again and then actually decide how they want to respond. Where if you're having a conversation with somebody, it's like an immediate reaction. Like you get their instant feedback on what they think about what you said. I also feel like there's the iPhone is great, and I love the iPhone. It's I think the best phone out there. And the new messages, things that happened in messages where you can put balloons in and all these crazy things and emotions behind your text, I think those are great. But I think it does suck you into messages even more, where you can do, you spend a little bit more time in messages. But I think, I think it's one of those things where it's like, it is a way to kind of communicate with people now. Like everybody has to communicate through a phone. It's like normal. If you don't have a phone, there's something wrong with you. So yeah, I feel like it's just we're going in that direction, whether we like it or not. It's just, setting the tone on how we use those things.
Correct.
So
yeah, man, that's that. That's all I had on that. I just, I'm concerned for today's youth, and I'm concerned for the decline in verbal and, face-to-face communication. It's just weird to me. That's all.
Yeah.
But
Well, I will say this: there are positive ways to use technology, and this is kind of which leads us into our next discussion. So there's a guy that we work with. He is ultra talented when it comes to music, and his name is Esteban. And he, the guy is amazing when it comes to basically creating music through, be it Logic or GarageBand or, any music software. I think he knows how to use. He actually went to school for it. So the guy's like a musical engineer. And the other day I was at work and he was like, "Yo, man, check this out." He's like, "I want to know what you think of this." And he played me this thing that he created like the night before, didn't really spend a lot of time on it. And then like he was messing around with it on an iPad Pro in like the break room. And, he had just messed around with it like that morning to kind of finish it up. It's like 1 minute and 20 seconds. And he called it Wednesday Madness, but I loved it because it was just had like these Asian instruments, behind it. And I showed it to you and you pretty much loved it.
Yeah, it was great.
Yeah. So what I want to do is actually, I figured since I enjoyed it so much and since Cooley enjoyed it so much, we wanted to share it with you guys. So we're going to play that now for you. It's about 1 minute and 20 seconds, and then we'll be back. So enjoy. So that was something that like I said, Esteban wrote or put together. Like I said, it's called Wednesday Madness. I thought you guys would enjoy it, and I wanted to kind of throw it in. And shout out to Esteban. He actually said he was going to try and possibly do like an intro for our show. Maybe some stuff we can put in between segments. So I hope you guys enjoyed that.
Word.
What are you doing for Halloween?
Oh, we're going to that annual party that is thrown in Providence.
Oh, yeah. Our buddy Paul Leota and Matt Logan.
Right.
Yeah, give them a shout out. They threw a Halloween party last year, and people got wasted. It was awesome. It was a good time. I went as the Shower from the Karate Kid. I'm not going to say who I'm going as this year because I know that there are a lot of people that are going to be listening to this that are going to go to the Halloween party, and I want it to be more of a surprise, see if people can figure it out. And who did you go as last year? I know it was Walking Dead, but...
Yeah, I was Tyrese.
Yeah, you killed it. It was awesome.
Word.
It was great. Did you have the baby in your backpack?
No, I didn't. I wanted to, but I just had the backpack, the hammer, and the skull cap and all that stuff.
Yeah.
I dirtied up a thermal sweatshirt, and yeah, that was it. Really, some camouflage jeans.
It was good, man.
Some boots,
Yeah, somebody actually thought that you were actually, from The Walking Dead, like the actual character.
Yeah, that was the craziest thing, man. I was just like, really, it's Halloween, lady. Halloween. I'm dressed as Tyrese.
Yeah, I'm sure that the guy who plays Tyrese would go to a Halloween party dressed as his character and not something else. It makes no sense. Yeah, I'm actually the character. There's no actor playing me. This is the real guy. So, what are you gonna be this year? You gonna tell us, or you gonna hold out?
I'm a holdout for the same reasons that you are. Just because I know people are gonna hear this, and I do want it to. I want it to be a surprise there. I have like people that I know. I think I already showed you what I'm gonna do, but
yeah.
I already got like most of the stuff just came in the mail today, so that's gonna be hot.
Yeah, I gotta pick up some last minute stuff at Savers for it. I have everything else.
I should go to Savers. That's right. I forgot all about Savers.
Yeah, I mean,
I have a couple of things I still need to pick up.
Yeah. No, you can find everything there, man. Like dirt cheap, So it's just a matter of if it fits or not. But I mean that's where I usually go to grab like last minute costume stuff instead of buying like a $70 plastic piece of crap that's gonna fall apart. It comes in a plastic bag. Yeah, man. I mean, I know last year we went to Big John Layden's Christmas tree farm, but it was like set up for Halloween. That was actually pretty fun.
That was a blast, man.
Yeah, this year, I mean, there's Spooky World. There's always going to be the Haunted Labyrinth. There's Haunted Hills up in Cumberland. I definitely want to hit up a couple of these places, but I feel like I have more Halloween parties to go to than actually having time to actually go to haunted houses. Like on the 22nd, I'm going to my sister's Halloween party, and then on the 29th is Paul's. So
we need to go to that haunted house, though, the one in Mass that you were telling me about, that you need a waiver for.
Yeah, the one you got to sign a waiver for. Yeah, I want to. If I go, we got to get Don and we got to get Jim to come.
Jim's not going.
No, Jim said he actually would go.
Really?
Like, yeah, dude. It was on when we went to Oddball on the podcast we did. There was a whole segment about that. Where,
was he drunk?
No. I asked him if he would go, and he said he would go to a real haunted house versus a fake haunted house, because in a fake haunted house, he knows stuff's going to jump out at him. But if in a real haunted house, he says that he doubts he's going to see anything. And if he does see something, it's probably going to be like an explanation for it. So he doesn't really think that but I was like, yeah, but dude, what if you do see something in the real haunted house that you can't explain? And he said he's okay with that. He'll just every night be sitting on the edge of his bed in darkness with a bottle of Jack.
Yeah.
And I was like, that seems like a pretty big trade-off, man. Like years of therapy, for something you can't explain versus like somebody going blah for 2 seconds and you know it's fake. The trade-off makes no sense to me, but that kid makes no sense to me sometimes. He's just fucking funny. So,
yeah, we forgot about this, man. Stephen Cullen. If Stephen Cullen's listening to this, we got Star Fox, bro.
I showed him.
You did?
I showed him the picture. He was dying.
Ah, nice.
Yeah, man. So we wouldn't have taken a picture of Star Fox unless you were that passionate about it. So
yeah, if I would have saw Star Fox and I'd been like, whatever.
Yeah, but we
literally saw him. We were just like, yeah, we need to get a picture of this.
Yeah, Star Fox. We gotta get a picture for Cullen. Oh man, so yeah, definitely. Hope you enjoyed that picture, man. It was funny as shit. Even though I don't think it was the same Star Fox that you were talking about either. It was like the '64 Star Fox. So, oh my god. Well, yeah, man. I mean, I pretty much I talked about everything that I wanted to talk about today. I'm gonna get back into Luke Cage and bang out another couple episodes so I can finish this beast.
Yeah, that sounds like a move.
Yeah, man. And I know you're kind of getting ready to release the video of New York Comic Con, so I'll let you get back to that. So guys, check out redbeardpodcast.com later today. The video is going to be there with some cool interviews we did, as well as some, obviously footage. And yeah, I guess we'll catch you guys next week. Yeah.
Yeah, next week, man.
All right.
All right, peace.
All right, later.